folks. Welcome to an unboxing of some brand new glorious board games. I'm just trying to get this little mini tripod to stay still here and have my battery pack still plugged into the phone. So we are going to have zero issues with the battery life of the phone dying at the very least, which is good news for sure. Okay. So here we go, folks. I just finished uploading the actual unboxing of the packages themselves. And now we are actually going to dive into what is inside each of these boxes. And we're going to start with, I don't want to say the main event, even though it kind of is the main event. The White Castles absolutely looks fantastic, right? One of my most anticipated games for sure. But I mean, how can you top Nucleum? Oh my gosh. Nucleum is here, folks, all the way across the pond. I cannot wait to dive into this one. Simone Luciani is one of my absolute favorite designers who had done Golem and Teletum. Oh my gosh. Teletum, or Teletum, or however you pronounce it, was my favorite game of 2022. Hal, welcome in. Good to see you. And I hope you're doing well. Please let me know, how are you? You're a war gamer, I hear. As a matter of fact, word through the grapevine is that Hal is a war gamer. So folks, don't hold that against him. Even though I don't know if he wanted that news to get out, because he was trying to keep it pretty secret there. All right, we're going to crack into Nucleum right now. No further delays. We got to see what is inside this package. Here we go. Nucleum unboxing. This box, folks, is one of the heaviest actual boxes that I have had the pleasure of holding in my hands. Oh my gosh, this box weighs an absolute ton. But look at that artwork. Now, if you do notice something, know the crushed corner, unfortunately, that also kind of ripples down into the artwork. That is not actually part of the artwork. That is, unfortunately, a crushed corner. But we are not even going to worry about that because we are just excited to have Nucleum in our hands. I need to alter the viewpoint of this thing because there's so much glare. Okay, that looks a little bit better. All right, let's find out. Let's tease what's upcoming by putting those back there. But let's take a peek and see what's in this huge heavy box known as Nucleum. How is the quality on this? Oh my gosh, I'm looking at my laptop. Do we have decent live quality here? Okay, that doesn't look too bad if I go to 180p on my laptop. So I just wanted to make sure that things were looking okay. All right, cool beans. All right, here we go. What's in the box? First off, there is, of course, I'm sorry, I'm drinking iced coffee off to the side too. The rule book. How many pages is this rule book? This rule book, there is an appendix on the back of the rule book, which is nice. You know, we do actually like that because a good icon reference is absolutely necessary for games like this. This is 27 pages, 26 if you don't count the credits. I'm liking what I'm seeing already because here's all these action tiles. I've watched video after video about this. This game looks incredible. All these action tiles, love that they are all spelled out there. There's no question about it. We have the different contracts, what those mean. Of course, we're doing this all backwards because the good stuff is in the back. Here's endgame conditions and final scoring, all the different final scoring situations. Okay, placing muscle. So now I'm not going to get into all these rules, but it actually doesn't have as many pages as I was worried it might. Look at all those components, though. That's why this box weighs 30,000 pounds. All right, here we go. This game is 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and it takes 60 to 150 minutes. That's quite a range. All right, so first we have this challenges sheet. Who will not stop before they achieve true excellence. Okay, so apparently these are some like actual challenge guidelines here. Oh, I'm just going to be happy if I can make it through the game. And then we have Baron von Automat, the solo rules. I definitely do not need those. Just because I know a lot of people like playing solo, and that is totally cool. When I learn a game, I will play it by myself, but I'll play it multiplayer. So even when I'm learning a game, I'm not too interested in the solo mode. All right, here we go. Let's start off with some of these components, and there are a lot. So here are some wooden pieces here. A lot of these are going to be wooden pieces. Here are the turbines. They are printed. No stickers there. Hopefully you can kind of see that. We have a die. I wonder if that's for the solo mode. We have cubes, as any good Euro is going to have. We have all of these meeples. These are like our energy factory workers, I assume. We have some rectangles. I heard someone asking about stars on Board Game Geek. It looks like we do have a pack of stars here. I assume these are the milestone board stars. How have we already been live for almost 7 minutes? I feel like I literally just went live. That's crazy how time flies. Love it when they give us baggies. Hopefully these are some decent quality baggies. Sometimes the baggies are terrible. I hate to say it, I think it was Delicious Games. The baggies that they provided were just awful. Here are some cards. So we'll have to get those sleeved, of course. Hopefully we have the correct sleeves for those. Here are what appear to be player aids. Absolutely love that. I don't know if these I wonder if these are like Dixit-sized cards. I'm just questioning if I have a sleeve that'll fit these. I don't know that I do. We have a whole pack. QR code there. I'm interested to know what that QR code leads to and what this is. Is this some kind of box insert, I wonder? Interesting. Very interesting. And then we have this board. Oh my gosh. Well, there's no room for me to fold out the entire board right now. And actually, that's only like half of the board. Oh my gosh. So here's like one side of the board, potentially, it looks like. One side of the board. I know this is what the milestone track and a bunch of other things. Contracts, I think, probably go there. But that is just one piece of the board. And then here's the actual board. Look at the graphic design on this board just from this one panel is actually kind of cool. You can see in the background back there trees and possibly streams or rivers, waterways, roads. Yep, the vibes that this game gives off are just so cool. It's what really drew me into it. Because even though everyone has their favorite game designers, right? But you may not necessarily be interested in every game they put out. So for example, Simone Luciani, one of my favorite designers who has now just done Nucleum with David Turtzi, but prior to that did my favorite game of 2022, Teletum, and also Golem. Oh my gosh, I love Golem. But he's also recently done Rats of Wistar, or however you pronounce that. And I just don't know if I'm all that interested in that one. So even though he's one of my favorite designers, that's just like Vladimir Suhi just is doing Evacuation. And I'm not too interested in Evacuation. He's done some of my favorite games, including Praga, Messina, and Woodcraft. But I'm not too interested in Evacuation. So anyways, back to this. Look at this player board, folks. This is one of the player boards, but look, it's recessed. Recessed player board. One of my favorite things of all time. Oh my gosh, look at all that information on that player board. Compared to some games, it actually doesn't look like too terribly much. Have you seen the player boards for, what is it, Weather Machine? This is like 1/3 of the player board of Weather Machine, I swear. Oh my gosh. Or even Golem, where there's all those different tracks and stuff. Now, but this still looks really cool, though. I love all of the spots for these buildings. You can kind of see them in the background there. 4-player game, as we mentioned, so there is a player board for everyone. Now, here's what really makes this game heavy. Oh my gosh. All of these cardboard punch-outs. So let's go through these and see what we got. Like when I was unboxing all this from the shipping boxes, no, I wouldn't go through all of these. But now this is literally what this live is for, to go through all of this stuff. So, oh my gosh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you believe it? There are 8 punch boards here with all of this stuff. Oh my gosh. Here we go. So we got to think of something to talk about, because I am gonna punch all of this out right here and now. I should have called this live unboxing and unpunching. So let's see, if you don't already know, I am currently vlogging every day in October over on my sister channel, my brother channel, which is under the screen name Supreme YDNAC, which is just the word candy backwards, but it's all one word, Supreme YDNAC. And I'm calling it, and I came up with this term on my own. I don't know if it actually already is a term that exists, because you know for a long time, if you follow social media influencers, hopefully that's not like a taboo thing to say, but a lot of them do Vlogmas, where they do like a daily vlogging challenge, which means they have to vlog every single day from December 1st through Christmas. And I did that a couple years ago, and I actually had a decent amount of fun doing that. It was fun engaging with people like that. But this year I'm doing Vlog-O-Ween. That's right, Vlog-O-Ween. So every day in October, and that's even longer than Vlogmas, because it's October 1st through the 31st of Vlog-A-Day. And a lot of what ends up being in those vlogs are these packages that I get, what I'm feeling about different things, not necessarily all gaming related. In fact, a lot of it's not, it's just everyday stuff. Some of these things, obviously, without having gone through the rules, I'm not entirely sure what a lot of this is, but I am trying to keep these separate from each other, just so that for potential storage purposes. There should have been some metal coins for this game, but look at these action tiles. Oh my gosh. This action tile system is actually very interesting to me. So these action tiles will give you 2 potential actions that you can do, and you can either lock them in, and this is of course just what I've seen from the reviews and playthrough videos. You can lock the action tiles in by using them up top here, and you'll get them back potentially, or you can flip them over and they become railways that you place out on the board to connect cities. So that is pretty cool. So it's like, do I want to make this connection? Maybe not with this action tile, because it's almost, I don't know if you'd call it a draft, but you're definitely almost kind of doing like deck building, where you're getting new action tiles, but you're also purging action tiles. So I suppose ideally you would want to purge action tiles that maybe aren't the best for you, or maybe will just come in handy like a kind of a one-off situation. And that way you'll get some better action tiles and not use the better action tiles to make the connections out on the board. I wonder if these are for each player's building. Are these player boards color-coded in any way? I don't see that they are unless I'm completely... Well, wait, one's green on the back. No, they all are green on the back. Okay. Because these buildings, each stack of these buildings is almost the same height, and there was black, red, kind of... No, I guess there are more than 4 different colors of buildings. Okie doke. And then we have these, whatever these are. So we are a quarter of the way through punching these sprues, because there's sprue number 2 punched. Sorry, folks, we just punched out a sprue. All right, this is sprue number 3. And I just do not know what these, like, radioactive waste looking hexagons mean. Hopefully we'll find that out after reviewing the rules. Here's some more of what I assume are like coins. Okie doke, but look at all of this, all these other action tiles. Why do some of these have question marks on them? That's interesting. And you can see that some of these action tiles have different colors, and I think I read somewhere that that'll matter, where you can try to line those up with maybe cities of those colors to really get some bonuses going or some actions going. So that is exciting. All right, so what else? Let's see. I am super excited for some other pre-orders that are still on their way. One of which is Kutnahora. If you've heard of that game, that kind of came out of nowhere. Where did I first even hear about that? Oh, I can't remember if it was just something I saw up for pre-order on Game Nerdz, or where did I even first hear about that? But it looks amazing. I love the mechanism, like the marketplace price highs and lows calculator, cardboard card gizmo. It just looks so cool. But I also love the components. They're called rewood, I believe, where they're like this wood pulp that is almost like a plastic material. It's supposed to replace plastic, but it holds detail better than regular wood components, which is really, really cool. So they look and maybe feel even similar to a plastic, but it's actually a repurposed wood pulp. Okay, these kind of coal cart looking things do not appear to be related to the action tiles, so we will keep those separate. But Kutnahora, I pre-ordered that. In that same order is Diced Veggies, I believe it's called. And that game just looks like a lot of simple fun. I'm always, for every Nucleum that I get, I definitely want a Diced Veggies or a Waffle Time. I cannot wait for the actual retail release of Waffle Time. If you can believe it, I had to, unfortunately, cancel my Waffle Time pre-order because it was just taking so long. And the original release date was August 18th, and then that came and went. And then September came and went, and now we're over halfway through October, and I reached out to AEG, and they don't even know. They said it's still TBD when it'll release to retailers. You know who does have Waffle Time? The people who bought the AEG Game Night box, whatever that is called, Big Game Night or Big Time Game Night or something, where it was a mystery box full of games. And was Point City in there too? Like, all of these games that I actually wanted from them were in that box. So it's like, good Lord, I could have just literally got that box. But of course, I didn't know. First of all, I didn't even hear about the mystery box until people started getting it, and it was too late. And even if I did hear about it, I don't know that necessarily I would have jumped on that bandwagon, because Fantasy Flight, wasn't it? Didn't they do a mystery box of games before? Or someone, or was it AEG? I don't remember. And I just wasn't all that interested because it seemed like it was just a box full of their games that they couldn't sell. But this ended up being one of my most anticipated games of the year, Waffle Time. And now I missed it. And no, I'm not going to go to a third-party reseller or, look on eBay or anything like that. I just want it through the normal channel. So whenever it does appear at retail, I will hopefully be able to snag a copy. But I thought it was so funny because I first saw a glimpse of it like a year ago, through probably AEG reposting something on Twitter where they were like, yeah, here's a clip, a little preview of our upcoming game Waffle Time. And I remember seeing that and thinking, okay, number one, I need this game now because it's that perfect family weight game. I play games with my mom a lot, and I'm always looking for new games that she would like that I would also find fun because, as much as she may enjoy Uno or Sorry, I'm sorry, I cannot do it. Oh my gosh. So I'm looking for games that I would enjoy that I think she would enjoy as well. And I have several of them, but I'm always looking for new ones. And Waffle Time just looked like it checked all those boxes. It looked like it absolutely checked all of those boxes. And so like a year ago, I saw the prototype of it. I went to Board Game Geek to add it to my wish list, and it didn't even have a listing on Board Game Geek. So I reached out on Twitter and they were like, yeah, it's just so new. We haven't even created an entry for it. But it's like, so I was like one of the first, I gotta say, I was probably one of the first people in the world not involved with the production or design of the game itself to be like, I need this game. And then I missed out on it. I totally missed it because it came out in a mystery box. So now trying to find out when it'll hit retailers is like pulling teeth because even the publisher, even Game Nerdz, I reached out to Game Nerdz and everyone's like, sorry, to be determined. We have no idea when this is going to hit retailers. So I've been waiting for a year. I started seeing other people get it. The envy was absolutely flowing through me and I completely missed it. And now guess what? I don't know if I'll ever get it. Hopefully it actually does hit retailers. That would be the absolute worst of all time if I actually totally missed out on it. So this is interesting. Oh yeah, this is another interesting thing that this game does. And I gotta be careful with this because all of this is game components, I believe. These are like special abilities that you can get and lock in here. Very cool, like modular abilities that you can learn and plug in here. And I'm pretty sure this thing that I'm punching them out of is part of the player board. Yeah, I'm sure it is. So that is actually pretty cool. So I got to be careful with this because there's these little spindly things, and this cardboard isn't the thickest of all time. So we will set that to the side. And then here is another one. And then we are going to be 3/4 of the way, if you can believe that, through punching this game out. I need to find out if those cards that came with the game are for the solo mode or not, though. Not that that would necessarily change my wanting to sleeve them, because I'll still want to sleeve them even if I never play the solo mode, but at least it wouldn't be like a huge have to get this done ASAP situation if those were solo mode cards, which I'm sure they are, because any of the playthroughs and reviews I saw, I don't remember seeing cards. So I do have to assume that those cards are for the solo mode. Okay, so what else? So we are still looking forward to Waffle Time. We are still looking forward to Diced Veggies. We are still looking forward to Kutna Hora. We are also still looking forward to, I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think it's like Senkore, the Pride of Mansa Musa. And now what is that? That is a gorgeous looking Euro game by Fabio Lopiano, who you probably have heard me go on and on about because he is one of my favorite designers who designed one of my favorite games of all time, Kalimala. And then also he designed more recently Three Ring Circus. And I have had a lot of fun with Three Ring Circus. I have some qualms with it, but I almost feel like, because I feel like I have the same qualms a lot of people are saying, but I feel like for me those aren't like game breaking issues. Those are like things that I need to be better at in the game. So if you're not familiar with Three Ring Circus, one of the major things you're trying to do is gather, they call them artists, for your circus, entertainers for your circus, animals and clowns and acrobats and everybody. Well, these big ticket artists come up through a display that you can select from, and you're gathering these to do well in performances across the country. Oh my gosh, I have to build all of these little nuclear reactor things. I'm going to punch those out last. But you're trying to get these entertainers to perform in the circus. There are 3 levels of cities that you can perform in: small towns, medium cities, and large cities. And look at this. It looks like a nuclear bomb plume. Oh, sorry, I keep getting distracted. But the thing is, the big cities, in order to even perform in them, not just do well in them, but to even perform in them, you need a certain entertainer, a certain artist. And there's a limited amount of them in the artist deck. And so if they don't come up for you, you'll never get one. And say you refill the display and it goes on to the other person's turn, and that artist comes up and they snag it before it comes back around to you. I mean, how were you able to do anything about that? And so if you miss out on those specific artists, then you can't even score in the big cities. So that's what a lot of people have an issue with, because they're like, why is big city scoring dependent upon kind of the luck of the draw almost? And people are like, so that doesn't seem very fair. A remedy for that would be that maybe you could still score in those cities, just maybe don't get as many points or something. But no, you can't even score in those cities unless you have that specific entertainer. So for a lot of people, it seemed like that was a big deal. And for me, having played it, I had a lot of fun with it. I was able to get a couple of those because because of course, and every game is going to be different. So the high priority entertainer is going to be different each time for the different cities. And it's going to be one of those situations where it's like everyone looks at the board, they see what entertainer, artist, each of the big cities needs. And as soon as that entertainer pops up in the queue, you better believe they have their sights set on them. So yeah, it's just really interesting. All right, so now we gotta figure out how to put these together. It doesn't look like it will be too complicated. Okay, so we have 5 pieces that look like this. And we have 5 pieces that look like this. And we have a million pieces that look like they're probably sides. Well, actually, there's 5 sets of 4, so that makes sense. But one of them is just bigger than the others. I wonder what that one's for. We'll have to take a peek. Okay, so what else? Actually, I should probably punch these out in a row. So, I don't even know. Oh, that's right. I was talking about, how do you pronounce it? Sancore, the Pride of Mansa Musa, or something like that. From Fabio Lopiano. That is the next big game. I haven't even pre-ordered that one yet because, oh my gosh, the funds are running thin between registering all my vehicles the past couple months and Supreme fall releases and all these board game releases. I've just been spending up a storm as usual, right? But The Sankore game is like $100 or more from Osprey Games. That's it. We punched out the entire thing. All right, so now we got to build these. Do I need the rules to see how to actually put these together? Look at all those components. Oh my gosh. Okay. What? How is there not a... I guess they're like, you should just know how to do this, because there they are right there. And there's not even an assembly guide as far as I can see. So we'll just have to kind of go with it. Well, it looks simple enough. The housing pieces crisscross in the middle, and then you put the walls around the outsides. Okay, here we go. Like this. Okay, and then these walls are on the outside like this. So these aren't too bad. And I assume these will stay permanently together, so there's not going to be a need to disassemble these after each game. Thankfully, I hope. Okay, so here, if I can just get this last wall on, is the first one. Just like that. So these little refineries or whatever the heck they're called in game. So we have 4 more of those to build. So let's see what else. That's it in terms of board gaming. So the 3 games I'm still looking forward to are Diced Veggies, Waffle Time, Kutna Hora, and I lied, it's actually 5 games. So Diced Veggies, Waffle Time, Kutna Hora, Sankore, the Pride of Mansa Musa, and what was the 5th one? Oh yeah, Coffee Rush, which is from the Korea Board Gaming Company. I cannot remember exactly what it's called. It may just be as simple as Korea Board Games, but it's a company based out of Korea, I believe. And the components for Coffee Rush, go look it up. Go look it up right now what the components look like for the Coffee Rush board game, because that is just absolutely insane. They have little droplets of milk, little plastic, it's all 3D plastic components that look like you want to eat them, little ice cubes, little pieces of chocolate, and you have these little clear coffee cups that you are putting the ingredients in. So yeah, I want that game. Faux show. If nothing else but for components alone. But the gameplay itself looks interesting enough. It looks very light, which is not a bad thing whatsoever, because like I said, for every Nucleum, which who knows who I'm going to get to play this with, I definitely want a Coffee Rush, or a Waffle Time, or a Diced Veggies, or a Point City. The latest hit for the group has been Junk Drawer. Junk Drawer is amazing, folks. And I'm not a huge Polyomino fan of, I do own Patchwork. I do own Cottage Garden. I do own, is it Indian Summer? Yep. But I haven't played it yet. I also own Barren Park, but I haven't played that yet. But I have played Cottage Garden multiple times, Patchwork multiple times. That one game about, it just recently came out, Packing a Moving Truck. All these Polyomino tile laying games, I'm just not a huge Polyomino fan. And I believe this smoke goes here somewhere. Is it like this? Maybe, or does it cut across the middle? I don't know. Maybe it's like something like this or something. I don't know. That's probably not right because it's not a very tight fit. But that's that. Okay, so now I have to figure out what we need to do to bag all this up. Actually, before we do that, let's find the right sleeves for these cards. And also, let's look right now in the rules and see if those are solo mode cards or not. No, there's actually 13 setup cards. Ooh, okay. So 13 of those cards are actually setup cards, And then let's check the solo rules. Number 5, 15 logic cards. Yep. So that's what I assume these are. These are the setup cards for the multiplayer game, and these are the logic cards for the AI-driven solo game. All right, we got to see if we can get some sleeves for these. What size sleeve do you think these are? Definitely not those. Yep, it looks like these cards are going to be just under what we would consider standard card game size sleeves. And I still have an old pack of Fantasy Flights that we can sleeve these with. So where was I? What was I just talking about? Coffee Rush. Those are all the tabletop games that I'm interested in right now. 12 hours at the university. Oh my gosh. Writing essays. Well, thank you for at least stopping by, because that is very, it's always great to see you. But I hear you, because like work for me has been going crazily. They have me on this crazy project where I'm staring at Excel spreadsheets and Word documents and having to write reports all day, every day, and it is going nuts. So I hear you, though I definitely don't have to be there 12 hours a day. That is for darn sure. Hal, you know it. You know mean sleeves. We are sleeving it up. Kind of off camera here. Can I turn this a little bit? Not that, like, actually watching me sleeve the cards is probably all that interesting, but plus these fat hands are probably getting in the way of all the sleeving action anyway. So, like, what is up with my chat on this thing anyways? Because, like, the chat on my screen here on my phone is like Hal's first 2 comments, and it wasn't even until I looked over at my laptop screen that I saw that there were other comments. So that's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Anywho, so that's everything for the board game realm. I'm still looking forward to those 5 games: Coffee Rush, Kutnahora, Diced Veggies, Sankori, the Pride of Mansa Musa, and oh God, what was the 5th game? Coffee Rush, Diced Veggies, Kutnahora, Sankori, the Pride of Mansa Musa, and what else? Wasn't there another one? Oh, I already forgot. I know, that's true. They are on duty on the front porch right now. Ricky, Henry, and Cecilia, who used to be standing over there. It is, I know, it looks like totally empty now with them outside. I still have to do my Halloween card picture, where I'm going to do a whole photo shoot with all of my personalities, and it's going to be really cool, I think. Probably pretty corny, but also pretty cool. All right, we have all of the logic cards sleeved. Now for the rest of these, what are these called again? The setup cards. But so what I was trying to say was, yeah, I'm looking forward to those board games. I don't know why I can't think of the 5th one. I swear there were 5. Coffee Rush, Dice Veggies, Kutnahora, Sankori, the Pride of Mansa Musa. And actually there were 2 other ones. Civolution, which is this huge sprawling new Stefan Feld game, which looks very interesting. And also, is it Planta Nubo? A new game co-designed by Uwe Rosenberg, and that looks really interesting also. So those are both on my wish list. But apart from the board gaming aspect of tabletop hobbies, I'm also I don't know if I've said this before, I really want to start playing Lion Rampant because I feel like that is a tabletop war game, miniatures war game that I can actually play that's not like a lifestyle game. Here's all the setup cards. Oh, don't sleeved cards just make you feel good? Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, I believe I am going to have to wait if I do want to sleeve these player aid cards because I think these are more Dixit size. I don't have those sleeves. But I definitely want to play Lion Rampant. So here's my philosophy. Here's my thought on that is, and we can now readjust this back over here, is that oh my gosh, this iced coffee is so good. Oh my gosh, it tastes so freaking good. Anyway, sorry. That coffee just tastes amazing. What was I even saying? Oh my gosh, that coffee just blew me away. Oh yeah, Lion Rampant. So what I want to do, and call me crazy, but you know, I when I am interested in a game, I want to go full on with the minis. War Games Foundry has some perfect, like medieval wargaming figures that look like they have a lot of personality. They come in all the different sizes I'd need, all the different sculpts I'd need, because what I want to do is you can have a certain amount of each type of unit, or I think maybe they did away with that in Lion Rampant second edition, but I want to have enough for 4 units of each unit type per player for 2 players. So all of the different unit types, Bidowers, I don't even know all the different types, but heavy cavalry, light cavalry, crossbow cavalry, mounted yeomen, all that kind of stuff. I want 4 full units of all the different unit types for 2 players. So 8 of each unit type, 4 of each painted one way, another 4 of each painted another way. I want them generically painted so that they can be used as just almost any type of army. I know that's going to be tough because everyone's different colors, different heraldry. It doesn't have to be historical for me. It really doesn't. And how didn't I talk to you about this? Didn't we talk about this before? I know it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars, but that is okay because I want to have all the figures necessary to do total customization. There should never be a army configuration that we can think of that I wouldn't be able to do for 2 players. And part of me thought about doing 4 of each type and then no, I don't even want to do that. I was thinking 4 of each type, and that would be it. And then 2 players could choose from those figures and have each unit. So, like 4 longbowman units. And, the units are 6 figures to 12 figures in size. So what I was thinking was I would have each unit of each type. So like the 4 longbowman units, each longbowman unit painted differently. So that way, it's almost like you collected this band of mercenaries, like, Henry's longbows would be one of them, and, Sheila's target rangers would be the other longbowman unit. And then you'd say, okay, so in my army, I'm going to have 2 units of longbowmen, so I'll take this one and this one. And that way, they wouldn't all be painted the same, so that if both players wanted longbowman units, they wouldn't have the same painted longbowmen. So that also is still a possibility, either 4 of every unit for both players or just 4 of every unit, but every one of the 4 units of that unit type painted differently, which I know would be actually kind of interesting to me. But either way, so first I got to get the figures. I want War Games Foundry figures. I've done all the research. I have a whole Excel spreadsheet of all the units that I need, and War Games Foundry has figures for each of them. but it is absolutely insane. So I definitely need to get the figures, and then I need to get them painted. So then the painting situation comes in with, I'm thinking blue table painting. Those are my old standbys, if you recall, and we're going to go on a little field trip over here real fast. Blue table painting did all of my Warhammer Fantasy stuff. So all of these armies, this is armies of the Empire. I'm sorry, the shadow's getting in the way. And orcs and goblins, and also my wood elf army upstairs. But they also did a lot of the things in these cabinets as well. They also did all of these Free Blades figures over here. I don't know how well you can even see this, but that's what I did for Free Blades, the miniature skirmish game for Free Blades. I got every possible figure combination for all of the factions that they offered at the time. But anyway, so I just like having everything for a game. That's why I can never get into like Warhammer 40K, because I would want all the armies, every figure for every possible combination. Can you imagine? That would be $100,000. Oh my gosh, how that really sucks. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. Well, that is absolutely terrible, because I know, especially you being a war gamer, and I know you paint your own stuff, so that it has to be devastating. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm thinking blue table painting, but I've also looked at like Frontline Gaming, but they seem to be more 40K oriented. So I was going to kind of reach out to them and see if they'd even be interested in something like that. But then there's this other company in Europe that paints figures and seems to have a relationship with War Games Foundry, possibly. So I was going to see if they would be interested in taking on a commission of that size, because of course that's the main thing, is the commission would be absolutely enormous. Who else? Well, Alternative Armies. I had 1,100 figures painted, but of course those are all 15 mil. But Alternative Armies painted those up, and 1,100 was just one batch of figures. I had multiple other batches of figures painted by them as well. But of course that was their own figures. So, and then the other question is, how do I want to base them? I'm thinking round bases, but I've seen Litco and maybe some other companies as well have these templates, because obviously Lion Rampant isn't rank and flank, it's skirmish. You just kind of 40K-ish, where you have a squad, you have someone who is like the leader of the squad, and the rest of the figures can't be too far away from that figure. So I was almost thinking about getting like a template, like a base template, with the circular cutouts, and you'd put all 12 of the figures on there, or all 6 of the figures, whatever the case may be. But they're all kind of in like a skirmishy, mix-matchy formation, and move that around the table. So definitely a lot of options here. But again, I'm all tapped out. I have spent so much money on vehicle registration and board games in Supreme and everything else. So that's going to have to wait probably till early to mid next year at the earliest, unfortunately. All right, so now we're going to go through here and start putting these things in baggies. Let's see what we've got in terms of how this wants us to do this. Well, this smoke plume does seem to be in there, though for whatever reason mine isn't the sturdiest thing in the world. I think I'm hearing rain. Well, it's supposed to storm tonight anyways. So that must be what the rain is I'm hearing. Okay, so here we go. Oh my gosh. So here's all the stuff per player. So this is what I am going to be putting into baggies right now. What were these other buildings then? Because, oh, neutral buildings. I see. So there should be 12 building tiles, 4 mine tiles, 3 income markers, a victory point marker, 4 turbine markers, 18 worker meeples, and 6 milestone markers. So all of that stuff per player, let's do that right now. Let's get those baggied up per player, which means we're going to have to dump out all of this stuff. God, doesn't that suck? Like, an accident sucks no matter what, first of all. But, you know, especially when it's not your fault. And it's someone else's fault, and you were just trying to live your life, and now, seemingly, it sounds like the rest of your life is now impacted by their mistake. That's just absolutely terrible. I got into a minor fender bender, and it was and this is in no way trying to compare it to you, Hal, by any means. This was just a small blemish on my bumper, but and that little tiny thing affected me so much because I'm in the Taco Bell drive-thru of all places. Of course I am. And I'm at the window just sitting there waiting for my food, and the car behind me was just sitting there. But then all of a sudden I get hit from behind, and I get out of my car, and I'm like, what happened? Did someone run into you and then push you into me? No, evidently they were leaning over trying to pick up something, and they took their foot off the brake, and they kind of rolled into the back of me and scuffed up my bumper. And I was like, oh my God, this just absolutely sucks, because, like, it was late at night, and I was like, you know what? I could have just decided, no, I don't want Taco Bell tonight, and that I could have avoided that. So I keep thinking, like, hindsight, blah, blah, blah. What could I have done to avoid that happening to me? But at the end of the day, it was just an unfortunate situation. But anyways, so I think this was all the wooden components. We have the 6 stars, the 3 income markers, 1 victory point circle, the 4 turbines, the 18 worker meeples. Now we have the 4 mine tiles and the 12 building tiles, which I believe are these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes. I am a little concerned about having these cardboard tiles in the same baggie as all these wooden pieces, because I do get worried about getting them scuffed up and whatnot. But this is all the components for the blue player. Now we just have to do that for the other 3 players. Okay, next. And I'm actually really anxious to take a peek at the White Castle, because that's a smallish box. It does look a little thicker than the Red Cathedral, though. Actually, let's see. Is this the same box size? It is thicker. It is the same height and width, but it's a little bit deeper than the Red Cathedral. Very, very cool, though. Oh my gosh, Hal, you have so many responsibilities out there. It's still crazy, all the stuff that you do out there on your ranch. I mean, that's just so awesome and impressive and inspiring. So you have a good night as well. I will talk to you later, my friend. Okay, so now let's do the green player and pop these guys in here. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Good, good, good. We got all 18 of those guys. And then the 4 wooden turbines. And then the 3 income markers. And then the 6 milestone stars. And then the victory point tracker, which is in here. Okay, and then the 4 mine tokens and the 12 building tiles. Oh, I see we got a yellow star in there, because those stars were stuck together, actually. Okay, so we have that done. Next, here we go. Let's go with the red player. Let me just check something here. Oh, that's cool. I was just looking and saw this clip from a local comic shop called Krypton Comics. They're celebrating, I think, 30 years in business, and they're posting pictures of their original comic shop from back in the day. So that is pretty cool. Okay, back to the task at hand. How long have we been live? Almost an hour. Almost an hour. I took tomorrow off, Friday the 13th. I needed it. Oh my gosh, did I need tomorrow off? Like, no one's needed a day off before. Come on, some of these pieces are like, we're literally stuck together. Thankfully, taking them apart didn't like rip the paint off or anything. Okie doke. We've got that, this, the 3 of these, the 4 of these, and the, where is the, here they are, these buildings. Cannot wait to get this game played, folks. Oh my gosh. I'm anxious to see, like, does it give me the same feel-good vibes as a lot of games? Because a lot of games that I enjoy are the big turn games. Like in Praga, you choose something off the action wheel. It gives you an action you can do, but also a bonus off of the action wheel. And then you get to do the action. And all these things kind of chain together. Woodcraft is that same way. Barcelona has that in spades. Golem is all about taking advantage of being able to do multiple things. So yeah, I just absolutely love those kind of games. And so sometimes, though, there are some games that don't have a lot of that kind of chain reaction-y good feeling. So, for example, what's a good example of that? Like, okay, so here's another rant I want to go on. And I think I may have gone on this rant before. Rado, absolutely love. Rado runs through. Richard Ham. One of my absolute favorite YouTube board game, tabletop gaming content creators, bar none. He is so fantastic. I love everything he does. He said that sorry, I think I was shaking the camera a little bit. He thought that Weather Machine was one of Vital Lacerda's lighter games. And maybe that's misquoting him, because obviously Lacerda has some lighter games, but I think he meant like of recent fare of the big box heavy games that he's done, Weather Machine was on the lighter end of those. And oh my god, folks, Weather Machine, like, I love CO2. Weather Machine is leagues more complex and heavy than CO2. CO2 Second Chance, more specifically. So I just couldn't believe that he said that, because every player has a player aid that is like a 12-page booklet for your player aid. There's so much going on. And in that game, you really feel like you have to do work in order to accomplish anything. You have these investment tiles, you have these subsidiary tiles. I don't even know if that's what they're called anymore. That was something else potentially. Was it subsidiary tiles or was it something else? I can't remember. But it just felt like to do anything, you had to do steps A through F. And a lot of it was not very fun until you actually got the payoff. And then what did the payoff end up being? Getting bots in place to run the weather machine and hope that you had, get the vouchers that you needed and all this stuff. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. And then to get everything in line to be able to create a prototype. And what was the payoff there? Some points. But it wasn't like this major thing. You got to just remove one of these extreme weather tokens, which would just end up getting put back on there after the Professor Lative ran his weather experiment. I thought it was a brilliant game, and I do enjoy it, and I really want to play it again because I only played it, was it once or twice? Did I actually play it twice? It may have been twice. But I need to play it more because twice is nowhere near enough to know what I'm doing at all in that game. But that's the most complex game I have. More complex than CO2 Second Chance, more complex than Praga, Kaput Regni, more complex than Golem, more complex than Tilatum. All my heavy Euro games, Weather Machine is by far the heaviest. And I can't imagine like what a even heavier game than that would end up being. Geneva, thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. It has definitely taken some time and many years of collecting, but that was kind of my goal, was to, like, every wall, every nook and cranny of the room has to be just absolutely packed with gaming goodness. So even behind us here, we have games and other things. And in that alcove over there, that kind of goes under the stairs to the left of the basement door, has some shelves in there where I have some games. And I'm almost running out of space again for games. I just got a couple of those shelving units, and already we're starting to run out of room a little bit. Okay, let's focus here, folks. We need to get this stuff baggied. So what else can go in a bag? There are 50 action tiles. There was something with these question marks. So now there's per experiment. So what does that mean? That's what I want to know. Did we prematurely put these in baggies? Because this says per experiment. So we have these experiment boards. Yeah, that's fine. A, B, C, D. We have these experiment boards. And now 5 starting action tiles, 8 technology tiles, 1 turbine effect tile. Oh my goodness. So what the heck does that mean? Because I'm sure I just put everything in here. And okay, so that actually may not be the end of the world. I don't know. I probably should have kept these separate. Fudge. Probably should have kept all of those separate. Because now how in the world am I going to separate all these out again? Well, we'll have to do that. Separate those out. It's too bad those... Oh, wait. They are letter coded. Good. So they say A, B, C, or D. Good. So we can get those separated. So we'll get those separated, and hopefully we'll be good to go. All right, what else do we need to do? We have all of these action tiles. Now it says there's what? Well, says there's 5 of each starting tile. So even the question mark ones we have here. So I see there's 4 Bs. I have 3 As, but I have a question mark one as well. So I assume, though, that that's what those are, right? Even though those look different than the ones I have in my hand right now. Unless each players truly are different, is that a possibility? Okay, B. So there's 5 Bs. Where are some more of these? Oh, brother. None of these are starting tiles. Where's the rest of the starting tiles at? How about these? No. No starting tiles there either. Don't fall over. Next, what are these? Any of these say A or B on them? No. So where the heck are the rest of the starting action tiles? What about these? There we go. Here's some more. Okay. So from this batch, we have another A. Why do we have like an alternate B? I don't know what that means. Okay. So there's that. We have the D's. That means the rest of them got to be in here, right? Yup. D, D, D. Okay. And C. So far we got all the A's, B's, and D's, and now we're looking for, here's the C's. Okay, and that is it for the action tiles, but I have 2 letter B's that are like yellow gold. I don't know what these are. Okay, so does it say on here anywhere? I do not see the 2B ones anywhere. They're not solo mode, are they? Solo cards and solo die. But that is it. 2C. Put aside the special directive tile. Take 2 use unaction tiles. Oh, are those the Barons starting tiles? Return Baron's player board and 2 special action tiles if this was experiment B. I'm surprised that doesn't say that on there, but that makes sense that the 2B tiles with the gold on them were for the solo mode. So I want to keep all of the solo mode stuff separate. Okay. Okay, so we have the A, B, C, D action tiles. That's good. So then the rest of these action tiles then theoretically should just be good to go back in the bag. So what do we have here? There should be 50 of them. Oops. So there is 10. Here is another 10. So that's 20. Here is 8, 9, 10. So that's 30. Here is 8, 9, 10. For 40, and then here's another 10 for 50. So yeah, those other 2 must have been solo tiles. All right, so we got all the action tiles baggied up now. Good to go there. We have these little green cubes, which we can leave in their own package, and we can put these Nucleum tokens in with them, I assume. And then we can do a bag of these neutral buildings, of which there should be 8. Or 10? How many of these should there be? No, I was looking at the wrong thing. There should be 10 of these. Yes, there are 10 of those. Done. All right. How many contract tiles should there be? There should be no fewer than 50 contract tiles, 4 of which should be initial, 13 silver, 18 gold, 15 purple. Good God. Why? How do they come up with some of those things? So here's the 4 initial. Should I keep those separate is the question. Well, Possibly. Possibly, indeed. Let's put this up back. Okay, so what do we got here? Done with those. Done with these. What are these round tokens? We have 46 achievement tokens and 65 Thaler tokens. Do we want to keep those separate at all? That is the next task. We got to make sure we don't use up too many baggies on this. Yeah, let's just put them all in there, all in one, and then we can separate them out. Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think for right now, we're going to put them all in one. No, I can't. I can't bring myself to put both denominations of money tokens in the same bag. I just can't. Thankfully, we have some of these other little bags, so I can put the 5s in there. But then that's going to be the same thing with these little, what were they called? Milestone? Oh, achievement tokens. So we'll put some in here and some in here. These are both the same, yeah. So let's put the 5s in here. What are all these red flag tokens for? We got to figure out what the heck those do. Okie doke. Those are all the 5 achievement tokens. Now here are the ones. Okay, done. Feel like we can probably put all this red flag stuff together because there's 3 turbine rubble tiles, 3 mining rubble tiles, and 3 urban rubble tiles, and 5 endgame condition markers, as well as a first player marker. Honestly, this has to go down as one of the most pathetic first player tokens in history. I mean, come on. The image on there is kind of nice. It kind of shows like a cityscape, an old early 1900s, late 1800s cityscape, sunset. But really, just this is the first player marker. I think we could do a lot better than that. But anyways, let's put some of this stuff into a bag. So we're gonna put a lot of these red flaggy looking things all in the same bag. Actually, probably, I don't know, should we pop one of these in there? Okay, so we got those. So there are 5 of those, 3 of these, 3 of these, 5 of these, whatever this is, 1 VP flag token. Here's 4 of these 100-point victory point badge tokens. I'm going to put this in here too. These can go somewhere else. What else can we put in here? The first player marker can go in there. I almost want to put the first 4 of those contracts in there too, to be honest with you. Whatever happened to the dungeon? Matt's dungeon terrain. This is going to be embarrassing. What was Dungeon Mats? Oh, wait. Was Dungeon Mats... I have to look that up now. What was Dungeon Mats? You mean Urban Mats? The Urban Mats dungeon wall terrain? I still do have that in my... just in my storage room over here. I did play a game with it quite a while ago, because obviously with as much Dwarven Forge as I have, I do typically prefer that. But if I'm going to do like a war game skirmish game kind of in a dungeon, or that could make use of those kinds of walls, then absolutely I will pull that kind of stuff out. but it has admittedly been a little while since I have pulled out my Urban Mats Dungeon Terrain, if that's what you're referring to. Okay, we need a baggie for these, a baggie for those. What are these? These are the milestone tiles. I feel like those could probably go in here too, though I don't want to put too much random stuff in here, but I will. I think that's enough, though. That's got to be it. Plenty. I want to put all of the solo components together. So we will grab the logic cards, the 2 Baron tiles, and the die. Here are all of the solo components. Now that does leave us, we're going to need some more baggies because we are about to be out of baggies. We have a lot of these contract tiles, silver, gold, and purple. Do we want to separate those out? No, let's just put all those in the same bag. All the contract tiles. Okay. And then what are these? Coal mine wagon tiles. Okay. Coal mine wagon tiles. 2 more baggies, which we're going to need more, that means, but we will put all of these setup cards in one bag. I am really curious now what in the world this is. I have no clue. This almost looks like it would be an insert of some kind. Okay, what do I need? I need 4 baggies. I'm actually going to put these power plants all in one bag. Looks like they fit in a bag okay, just so that they're not all bouncing around. But then we got to separate these out. Too bad the letters aren't on the back. D, B, B, D, B, B, C. Yep, Dwarven Forge, Geneva. I'm on the same page as you. Dwarven Forge is my favorite dungeon terrain. And after their latest Lowtown Cities Kickstarter, I cannot wait to get that stuff. That was the first Dwarven Forge Kickstarter since the first Cities Kickstarter way back in the day that I actually backed for some rewards, believe it or not. So I didn't back, and I backed some of the other Kickstarters just for like the $10 level, but I never actually ended up following through with those. So I missed out on the Dungeon of Doom, the Caverns, whatever they called the second Caverns one, the Wildlands one, all of those I skipped. So I just did the original dungeons, I did the original caverns, and I did the original cities. All right, now we have the A's, the B's. Probably should have counted these. Were there 8 of each? 4, 6, 1, 5, 7, 8, 3, 2. It looks like it. C and D. Okay. And then are these all the same? No, these are different. And they do go to specific ones. So there is C, for example. There is D, there is A, there is B. That is so crazy. I didn't realize that they were that unique, asymmetric. Okay, 4 more bags. Let's just bring out all the bags. Okay, so there are player aid cards in here, but also it sounds like there's experiment cards as well. DCA. All right, here we go. This is crazy to me. So they are unique. Oh my gosh. I did not realize that at all. So some of these cards are general player aids, and then the others are experiment player aids. So everyone gets 2 player aids. Okay. And it looks like these will fit in here. So whose is this? So this is experiment A, which means they get all of this stuff. Okay. And then this is experiment C, which means they get all of this stuff. I love the player aids they did for this. This is perfect. Of course, I'll find out when I actually play the game how much I like it. But they did a great job from what I'm seeing so far here. Okay, here is experiment B's player aid. And last but not least, good old experiment D. Okay, and that is literally the entire game of Nucleum, sorted, punched, and baggied, ready now to be played. Okay, so let's see if we can get all this back in the box. Okay. This poor box. This poor box got so crumpled in shipping. Oh my gosh, look at this. That's terrible. Poor box. Okay, well, and there you can see from the inside too. Ouch, ouchies. All right. So that is Nucleum. Interesting. I can't wait to actually get this played. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab all of this stuff and see how well we can pack the box. I love how you set up dungeon layouts off the top of your head. Thank you, Geneva. I truly appreciate that because that's one of my favorite things to do. That's why I want to get back to another Dicey Depths game really soon. I have come up with 2 new Dicey Depths scenarios that we can play through, one of which is a forested village, and another one is catacombs. And as you can imagine, that probably is because I really want to play with my Dwarven Forge woodland sets and my Dwarven Forge catacomb sets. Okay, let's pack all this in here. So what is this then? I gotta figure out what this is, because I feel like, should this be set up and put on the bottom? But because I baggied everything, I don't think this would even fit together in there anyway. So I'm just going to ignore that. Okay, but we have lots of room down on the edges here for some of these smaller baggies of stuff. So we can get all of those down in there. And also the promos, don't forget. Should we unpunch this promo stuff or no? Well, there are these plastic Nucleum tiles that came in that promo, which is pretty cool. But I don't think I'm going to unpunch those right now, because I just want to play the base game before I throw any promo stuff in there. Okie doke. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff. Is this all even going to fit in the box? This is crazy as much stuff as there is. Just barely, it looks like. please don't say there's anything else that needs to go in here, because I don't think it would fit. Is there any way I can fit this back in here? I think I may just leave that out, because that I don't really need that in there. All right, that should be everything here then. That's gonna be pretty tight. Okay, let's give it a shot. Oh my gosh. There we go, we got it. Can you believe it? We got Nucleum unpunched and ready to rock. That is fantastic. Okay, done. Well, that's one of the 4 games done, and it only took us an hour and a half. Jeez. Okay. That is okay. The rest of these games should go a little bit faster, especially games like Point City and Shake That City. Oh my gosh, I think I got all the sleeves I need for this, but we're going to hold off on Point City. We're going to hold off on Shake That City. I can probably put Red Cathedral back. And go with the White Castle. So here we go. Let's set these back up again. Shake That City, Point City. Do something like this. Yeah. All right, here we go. The White Castle's up next. Where's my knife at? Here it is. Okay. Next up, a game that I wasn't sure when I was going to get it because I knew it was coming. It was on my wish list, but I didn't see it up for pre-order anywhere when I was doing my initial pre-orders of Essen releases. But there it ended up being. Here we go. So this is a relatively small box, right? However, it is chock full of stuff. So people said they couldn't get it back in with all 5 instructions. So that's going to be a challenge for us. Where's the English? Here we go. Look at all this stuff. Look at all those components. Are you kidding me? These are so cool. Look at this dice. But we got to build the bridges. That's true. We do have to build the bridges. And we got to sleeve these cards. Ooh, do I have the right sleeves for these cards is the next question. Did I just see a punch board? Yeah, here's a little mini punch board. Oh, this was promo. How cool is that? Promo 1. So I probably should have looked at this shrink wrap. Because it said, yeah, probably just that one promo, right? Yeah. Does promo 1 indicate that there may be a promo 2 somewhere out there? Oh my gosh, don't forget, we have to add all of these games to our Board Game Geek collection. Look at all of this stuff. Oh, this is so cool. Ooh, these aren't necessarily dual layered, but they do have a recessed area in there. Player boards, everything seems to be punching out fantastically, which is of course what you want to see with those kinds of player boards. Of course, these coins with the holes in the middle. I just had to do a bunch of that kind of punching with Terracotta Army. Okay, so what else? We talked about Lion Rampant. That is a huge, 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 huge project that I would like to accomplish. And what else? Anything else? Yes, actually. I want to get into 6mm sci-fi wargaming, Alternative Armies in the UK, Scotland, I believe, has a fantastic array of 6mm sci-fi figures. And I love the idea of Battletech, but that does still kind of seem like a lifestyle game to me. Whereas unfortunately for me, with the way how often I play games, which you'd think would be all the damn time, but it really isn't. It is once a week maybe. Getting a and we don't replay games all the time. Like if it was up to me, I would play my same favorite like 5 games just over and over and over again. But I don't even get to play those as often as I would like. So instead, so ideally, if I would love to play Battletech, or any of those other lifestyle games, Warhammer Fantasy even, all that kind of stuff. But it just doesn't happen. I don't have the game group to do it with. And as much as, I understand there's people out there who, at local game stores, and they have groups and stuff like that, and that's cool. And I wouldn't be opposed to doing something like that. But, just here at home is just so convenient. And you don't have to worry about a lot of the things that you might have to worry about in a public gaming group. But anyways, so those are kind of more lifestyle games where I'm not necessarily in a position right now to play lifestyle games. So I was going to design my own, like I've done with Battlefields of Mana and Dicey Depths and all those kind of games. And I think I already kind of started basing it around some of the sci-fi figures that they offer, and I think it could be really fun. And it would be almost probably mechless. So it would be tanks, maybe some small walkers, infantry. It would be all of the grunts that you might see in a Battletech game. I don't even know. Are there infantry and little tanks and stuff in Battletech? And even if there are, do those actually do anything? Or are they just more nuisances or fodder? So this would be a game all about, kind of a futuristic military combat between corporations and government entities that have their own armies. And without the huge lumbering robot mechs, it would be mostly tanks, infantry, maybe some small speeders, things like that. And Alternative Armies just has an unbelievable array of figures that fit that perfectly. They're like micro machine sized. Oh, they are so cool. And I just bought a bunch of that 6mm Hex Tech terrain, obviously designed probably for Battletech, but this would just work out perfectly for my own ideas as well. So that's another thing I want to do. I actually went so far a year or two ago, maybe more, a few years ago, I can't remember how long ago, to get a quote from Alternative Armies, because I've had them do thousands of figures for me, over 1,000. Well, probably around 1,500 maybe total. So I'm definitely no stranger to them painting up insane amounts of figures. So I actually went so far as to get a quote from them about painting up a bunch of that stuff, but actually it ended up being quite a bit more than I was anticipating, because I was like, oh man, especially for some of the figures that just I didn't think were as pricey. Like, I don't know if they do their prices just based on the unit. Like, all of these are going to be X amount painted, or how they judge what costs what, because some of them I was like, wait, why are these two things the same price when one just seems significantly less effort in order to paint that? So I was like, no, I'll probably hold off on that for now, and I may revisit it again in the future. And in fact, I would really like to, because that's the whole point. I really want to get those painted and get those figures now that I have the terrain, especially. But that's why I got all that Hex Tech terrain, was because I wanted to get it now because, you know, it may be years before I actually get to use it. And by then, who knows if I'll be able to find it and at a reasonable price. And so right now I was able to get it, you know, without any issues whatsoever. So what are these? Should there have been another one of each of those? Maybe not. That just seemed weird. I gotta put all the same colored pieces together here. Okay. So yeah, that's why I got all that Hextech stuff. And so yeah, I'd like to eventually do a whole pile of 6mm sci-fi and all of those 25, 28mm Lion Rampant. So I just need to win the lottery, in other words, right? Like everyone else wants. Because I have a lot of plans, but they're so expensive. But honestly, it's not terrible. Like I would anticipate what? The Lion Rampant stuff, the figures alone, I don't know, maybe $500 just for the unpainted figures from War Games Foundry. That's my estimate, maybe a little more or less. I'm waiting for one of their sales. Last time they had a sale, it was just too I spent the money on something else. But hopefully one of these days we'll be able to get some stuff going. Because it has been a couple years at least since I got some painted figures commissioned. And that's always a fun unboxing day for sure when those come in. Where is the base of this bridge that I unpunched previously? Oh, it's right here, duh. So yeah, I really want the 6mm sci-fi stuff, the 25, 28mm Lion Rampant stuff, and what else in the tabletop gaming world painted figures do I want? I think that's pretty much it, actually. I think those are my major wants, at least right now anyway. Okay, so we got all of this unpunched. The White Castle is now unpunched. There's a lot of components here, but I don't know. It's not like an overwhelming amount of components like I was kind of worried there might be. So that's good. But now we got to put these bridges together and see what we got here. Okay. How much battery do I got left on this thing? Oh, that thing is done. All right. Good, good, good. Okay, so our battery pack has run out and our phone is at 50%. So we still have a while. We're still going to be good. All right, let's see if we can build these bridges now. The White Castle's bridges of the White Castle. All right. So how does it say to do this? It says these two pieces here with this, it looks like this, notched into either side here. Okay, done. Then one side of the bridge put through, I assume, here, like this. Is that right? I don't know. And because that kind of pulled it out a little bit, I feel like. And then this side over here. Oh, wait, no. First, let's put this in the middle. Like this. And then the other side. Okay. Some of these go in a little looser than others, and so it's like, uh-oh, why is that going in loose than that? But that looks to be the way it's supposed to go. And then we have these edge pieces that come down here to hopefully seal it all together. Okay. Got it. All right, our first bridge. Can you believe it? Our first bridge is complete. Look at that. That's cool, right? These are the dice bridges. So there's that colored one. And then we have, let's do the white one next, I suppose. Then we're going to need to get some more baggies out here for these other components. Okay, so how do we do this? We had these two linked together by this, even though after pushing these together, it felt like when I put the side on that it kind of pushed them back apart again. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose. Then this went in here, and then the other side. And then once we got that together, which now we're having some issues again. Oh, that came apart. So it should be like that, right? We're all snug. And then these end cap pieces. Okay. 1 and 2. Got it. All right. And the white bridge is now complete. Last up, the red bridge. Oh, someone commented on something. Let's see. What did they say? Seeing what you pulled for dice, I'm going to try and get one of those blind bag. Probably won't have as good luck as you, but the bag and the coin and everything seems worth it. And I agree with that. Can I comment on that while I'm still doing this live? Okay, so I'm going to say abso-freaking-lutely. I'm going to say I honestly agree. I was just expecting an ordinary die set and still felt it would be worth it even then. Okay, there we go. Okay, red bridge time. Getting sidetracked. What time is it anyway? It's 8:30. Oh my gosh. That's what happens, folks, when you buy new games and you want to get them all punched, baggied, sleeved, sorted, and reboxed. That is what happens. Time flies, which is why you got to take the next day off work, especially so you can maybe start to learn some of these games. If we do have a game night on Saturday, then I anticipate that it is going to be probably maybe Point City, Shake That City, all that kind of good stuff. Okie doke. Now just the end caps here. And we will be good to go. I did take a vlog video after I unboxed all these games. And so we got that going. That's good. All right, so all the bridges are now complete. Next. What is next? Okay, so here's a bunch of this kind of stuff. I assume these are the different player colors. But we do have to dump these out and get these sorted so that every player color has all the stuff they need. There's a lot of cool wooden pieces here. Like, look at this thing. That's a cool piece. But even these, like birds and what I assume are little samurai. And these gardeners. Okay, so now what does each player need is the question. Well, I assume we have red, blue, green, yellow. Here are these fan tokens. These, I'm not entirely sure what these are. Maybe these are some kind of tracks. Because we have 4 light gray cubes, 4 tan cubes, 4 dark gray cubes. We got all the baggies we need right here. Okay, let's first take a peek and see what each color needs. Okay, what do we got? Player setup. Take a personal domain board, 15 members of your clan, 5 couriers, 5 gardeners, 5 warriors, 3 resource cubes. Where's the resource cubes? Oh my gosh, so each player will get a set of these, I assume. Okay, good thing I read that. Otherwise, I probably would not have put those together. And fan token. All right. Resource, influence marker. Okay, I think that is it. So let's get these baggied up here. So 15 members of the clan, eh? So for example, there are 5 farmers. Here is that bird. Here are 5 warriors. Here are 5 courtiers. Here are these tokens and the 3 resource markers. Yeah, that's right. Oh, this is going to be so good. I'm super excited for this game as well. Okay, we'll do blue next. All right, next let's do yellow. Well, let's do green. Green is next in line. All right, so we talked about upcoming board games we want, the tabletop gaming things we need. So now let's switch gears and talk about video games for a second. Because a week from tomorrow, there is a big LAN party about to happen where I'm going to be attending for the first time. It's in a big arena. And I just went on Amazon and bought a gaming chair because I don't want to use one of their folding chairs, and I don't already have a gaming chair. I just got a relatively cheap one because I'll probably only use it once or twice a year, if that. Okay, now I don't need as big a bags. So here's some smaller bags for these lesser components. So, for instance, these things. I don't even know what some of these are. I wished it would have given us like a component manifest. So number 6 says, create a common reserve of coins, daimyo seals, and the 4 clan point tiles. But then what are these square things? Those are the die tiles. Okay, so we do want to keep those separate. The dice, okay, I see that. So these are the die tiles that we kept separate. Let's put the daimyo tiles in a bag. What are these like half moon archway looking things? Number 9. Those are yard tiles. All right. I just wanted to make sure that those were like, if there was a solo mode or something, because normally I like to keep the solo mode stuff separate, but because my idea was to put these and these into the same bag, and if some of those were solo only components, well, that just would not make sense. All right, let's put all of the coins in here. Okay, so yeah, I got the gaming chair. Looking forward to that. It's supposed to come between Monday and Wednesday of next week, and the LAN party's on Friday, so I got a buffer of about a day. So if it doesn't get here by Wednesday, I still got Thursday, and technically I still have most of the day Friday, but hopefully it's not cutting it too close. So these promo tiles, do I want to punch these out? Why not? Well, I'm going to keep these in their own bag, I think. Like I can punch them out, that's no big deal. But it looks like there's a QR code here, probably for the rules for these promo pieces. So I do want to keep that insert as well. And there's this really cool piece. All right, so now we have to figure out what size cards are these. And I'll be honest, these look taller than like the standard. Let's find out. All right, moment of truth time. Are these sleeves gonna fit these cards? And I'm already a little apprehensive because I don't know. Giving them just kind of a quick peek, I'm unsure. Nope, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect fit on those. Okay, first let's make sure we're sleeving these the right way. Looks like there's multiple decks of cards here. That's interesting. And so all that matters is that I'm sleeving these in the proper orientation. So these kind of things look like they should be like this. And these look like they should be like this. And so what is this? Okay. So this looks like it belongs to those. So I think that's probably what we want to do with that. And then what is that? That's a completely different sleeve. Or a completely different thing. Okay. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so where were we? At the LAN party, I'm probably gonna play some Armored Core 6. Probably gonna play a lot of Skyrim. Definitely gonna be doing a lot of snacking. Don't let me forget to bring my Tums. Oh my god, I can only imagine. 27 hours, though it sounds like we are gonna take a break. But that's a long time, especially when I'm going to be drinking likely a lot of pop to be without some Tums. Oh my god, I can only imagine the nightmare that would be. Okie doke. So it looks like I will have enough of these sleeves. I'm trying to remember what I got these specific sleeves for. Hopefully I didn't get these for like a different game. And then have to rebuy more. And that wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world if my friendly local game store actually kept these in stock. Excuse me. They keep a lot of just regular standard card sleeves in stock, but like the gaming sleeves, they tend to run out of like the standard European mini and standard European size sleeves. So it's always kind of a gamble when I swing by there for sleeves if they're actually going to have the ones I need in stock or not. Otherwise, you know, you can always go online, but it's that instant gratification thing. Because I'd like to be able to swing by there and grab the sleeves I need and just go right home to sleeving instead of buying them online and having to wait a few days. Okie doke. This will probably be, and this is almost at 2 hours. I can't even believe that. But I don't know. Point City, I'm pretty sure that's just, you know, all cards. There's nothing too crazy to look at in there. Shake That City, I'll probably have to put that dispenser together. That would be the most interesting thing there, probably. But those are the two lighter games. The main thing I wanted to do is show off the components of Nucleum and the White Castle. So we got that done. But I think that's these two games here are probably going to be it for this stream once I get these cards sleeved. 2 hours is definitely not something to shake a stick at, that's for sure. Okay. Almost done. There are a lot of cards in this game. There are definitely some cards in Red Cathedral, like the guild cards. I think that's what they are called. And of course the cathedral components themselves cards. But this game, I feel like, has a lot more cards, like 3 times as many cards. So this will all be very interesting to see how this ends up playing. Well, I heard some rain earlier. We were supposed to get some thunderstorms, I thought. Heavy winds, storms. We were in the yellow zone. And I did hear some rain earlier, but didn't sound like it was too crazy. I was mostly worried about the Halloween decorations outside blowing away. Okay, all of the little cards are now sleeved. There are these larger cards. I don't know exactly what these are for. If there's 4 of them, I'm going to assume there's some kind of player aid or something. Yep, 4 identical. What size sleeve do you think those need? Well, if the small cards needed standard or a mini European, then do these need... Oh my gosh, this was way too big. Okay. What about this? Isn't that funny? So the small cards needed standard... the small cards needed mini European. The larger cards needed standard American. That's crazy. But we got them sleeved. Either way, done. Done with the sleeves on these cards. So that is good news. Done, 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 done. Okay, now the fun part of trying to put all this back in the box. So some people said they had some issues with putting this stuff back in the box. How should we separate these cards out? Because there's so many decks of cards. Well, actually, there does seem to be a bit of a trend here. Well, we'll figure that out probably later. All right, folks, I'm going to call it here. We have unboxed a lot of stuff, and we have a lot of cardboard sprues to recycle. But that'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.